1/100th the size of the width of a human hair. So very, very susceptible to any contaminants. Got to make sure that everything is clean. Now, the folks at Northrop Grumman say they make millions of semiconductors a year. The diverse range of semiconductors they make are used in all sorts of tech, from airplanes to satellites to cell phones. Northrop Grumman is even credited with making the fastest chip in the world, as recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. And from research and development to manufacturing, all of Northrop Grumman's chip production takes place right here in the United States. In fact, they've been producing all their chips in the U.S. for the past 70 years. So while President Trump threatens to place tariffs on foreign-made chips and other tech companies are scrambling to move operations to the U.S., Northrop Grumman is in a good position. Though that doesn't mean Northrop Grumman is immune from all tariff impacts or from critical mineral shortages.
The semiconductor industry is a global industry, so we do have to buy materials from different sources, equipment from different sources that could be subject to tariffs. But owing to our focus on national security as one of our core missions, we actively work in the United States to find partners to supply those materials or other critical resources to us into our ecosystem.
So how much does a semiconductor cost? The short answer is that it varies. They can cost anywhere between a couple of cents to hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the folks at Northrop Grumman say the average cost is in the tens to hundreds of dollars. Cheryl, back to you.
Max Gordon, thank you for that exclusive look. Appreciate that report. And, you know, Todd, this is the bigger picture that President Trump has been pushing forward since he got back into office in January. Bring manufacturing here. Produce things here, whether it is semiconductors, whether it is pharmaceuticals, because we have been so reliant on China for 20 plus years, and that needs to end. And this is another example of that, I think.
Yeah, we're not talking about cheap T-shirts. Like, that discussion is now over. If I have to reuse a T-shirt, okay, not a big deal. You can't do that with pharmaceuticals, and you can't do that with semiconductor chips. This is existential to our country because those two things, drugs and chips, are going to determine, I don't want to say our country's survival. I think that's a little too hyperbolic, but it's important. We need to make sure that we do that stuff here. And, look, if we have to pay a little bit more for the shirt, the pants, the shoes, not the biggest deal.
Yeah, John.
And I would say, yes, Todd is right. This is important for national security, critically important. However, let us not get our hopes too high regarding the number of new jobs that might be created by pushing ahead with artificial intelligence, pushing ahead with microchips and pharmaceuticals.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have final thoughts with this fabulous panel on a fabulous Friday. You're watching Mornings with Maria Live on Fox Business. We'll be right back.